What's up, YouTubers? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about who's under the most amount of pressure to beat OKC in Game 7 of the playoffs, James Harden or Russell Westbrook. So let's see what they have to say about that.
Wednesday night, it's go big or go home for the Rockets in their Game 7 matchup against the OKC Thunder after dropping Game 6 on a late turnover from Russell Westbrook. Max, I told you guys earlier. Yeah,
so that's Russell Westbrook's subconscious giving the ball back to his old squad.
Mike D'Antoni's record there facing elimination games. He is 0-5. That would have to change here. Should the focus, though, let's talk about the players, be more so on Harden or Westbrook?
Should be on both of them.
You asking me, Molly?
Max? Max? Yeah, Max. Yep.
James Harden. The answer is James Harden. James Harden, if he wants Mike D'Antoni to stay his coach, according to Stephen A. Smith, and there's been talk about that. And Stephen A., we had Fertitta on First Take, I don't remember how many months ago at this point. Maybe it's going back a year already. But
promoting his book.
He means business.
Yeah.
That's right, promoting his book, and he means business. He wants to win a championship, and if this is not the coach to do it, I have no problem believing he won't be there. And Indiana gets rid of Nate McMillan. That's odd. McMillan's really good, and maybe he's heading there. James Harden has, in this postseason, played much better than he's played in postseasons in the past. He has remained at MVP level when his team has needed him most so far. If he wants D'Antoni to remain his coach, and Harden was already quasi-MVP kind of player before he started playing for D'Antoni. But once they hired D'Antoni, it went to another level. If Harden likes that, and if he wants that coach to stay and thinks he can win a championship with that coach, then he better make sure that his team wins. Stephen A., he's the best player on the floor.
So I would say both of them, because I'm looking at James Harden and Russell Westbrook as a duo, have them be playing as one. So, I mean, this doesn't make any type of sense that we're here at a Game 7 because they're up 2-0. It was even to the point that, you know, Russell Westbrook was injured. They're like, hey, you know what? You don't even need to come back for the first round. You can come back for the second round, just heal up and do what you can to be good and be ready to go to the second round. But here we are at Game 7. It's not like they're going against the Golden State Warriors from 2 years ago. You know, you're going against OKC. You're going against a guy that you guys traded for to get Russell Westbrook. And now Chris Paul's, but he beat you guys up last game. And now he's sitting someplace rubbing his hands together like Birdman, waiting for Game 7. So, I don't know. Let's continue.
Well, my answer is Westbrook, Max Kellerman, because, like you said, he's a number 2 option. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. He's got to cut down on the turnovers. And remember, as much as we love and respect him, we all remember he has not been out of the first round since Kevin Durant left Oklahoma City. Somewhere along the way, Kevin Durant was looking at the game last night saying, see what I told y'all? Someone could plausibly argue that point, that that's what Kevin Durant is doing. I don't know, but someone could argue that. Having said all of that, let me focus on D'Antoni just like I started the show. D'Antoni is a damn good coach. He's a revolutionary coach on the offensive side of the ball, going small and basically running the table in that regard, just going for it. Major props to him. He generates excitement. His teams are usually a box office attraction. He deserves our credit. Nobody is saying he's not qualified to be a head coach in the NBA. But guess what? Nate McMillan was qualified to be a head coach in the NBA. I didn't have a problem with Indiana letting him go because he lost every year in the first round. And not only that, I think he needs to be in a better situation than a small market team who's not going to get those marquee guys. So I'd like to see Nate McMillan being a head coach in a different situation than that. But in terms of D'Antoni, not only are you 0-5 in those Game 7s, those closeout games, you know, with the season on the line, or you've lost your last 5 rather. But the bottom line is this: Tillman Fertitta believes that this team is a championship contender. He was very turned off by the fact that they had lost on their home court to the Golden State Warriors last year without the services of Kevin Durant. That really bothered him, okay? So you got to take that into consideration. Then you trade for Russell Westbrook. You let go of CP3. And then you go, and not only do you lose, but you lose in the first round to a player by the way, that played like a superstar last night. What a damn show CP3 pulled on. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, let me throw out those stats real quick by Chris Paul. So he went 28-73. He was 10 for 20 from the field, and he went 3 for 6 for the 3-point. So Chris Paul definitely took care of business. Like I said, he's sitting somewhere right now, rubbing his hands together like Birdman, waiting for Game 7. He's waiting for Game 7.
It was special, and for him to take you out like that, if they lose Game 7, I'm going to say it right here again. If they lose Game 7, Mike D'Antoni will not be the coach of the Houston Rockets next season. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Tell me on the press conference,
By the way,
they can sit up there and have a parade, and have a dance team, root for him, all of that stuff. It will not matter. Mike D'Antoni will not be the head coach of the Houston Rockets next year if they lose tomorrow night. I promise you that.
Yeah, so it might be time for Mike D'Antoni to find another place to go because, like I said, it's not like they're playing against the Golden State Warriors that were a stacked team and they just happened to get beat. 3 years ago, they had a chance to beat Golden State Warriors. They lost. Then that next year, they had a chance again to plot and scheme and all that whole year to prepare to beat the Golden State Warriors and still got beat up without KD. And now they're sitting in Game 7, look, with no momentum, going against a guy that they traded for, Chris Paul. And now they're about to get bumped out in the first round. And Russell Westbrook hasn't made it out of the first round since Kevin Durant left him. And it's not like, Russell Westbrook had nobody with him. I think he had, who did he have? He had Paul George with him. He has, who's Aquaman. He had a couple of different people. And I think it was Carmelo with OKC at one point. So it wasn't like Russell Westbrook was just there by himself. He had a supporting cast and still hasn't made it out of the first round. Now, if he's able to do this, get bumped out of the first round with James Harden, I mean, it doesn't make it tough. It's not a good look. It's not a good look at all.
He will be gone. Make no mistake. Make no mistake.
Notice that the guys were traded for each other, Westbrook and CP3. CP3 has this amazing MVP kind of game. And afterward, Westbrook talks not about CP3's performance, but like about what he did wrong. I didn't have any turnovers a couple games ago. I had 7 turnovers today. And CP3 afterwards shouts out who when he said some people are just built for this. Damian Lillard.
And Chris Paul's talking trash. And he's talking trash. I'm telling you, he can't wait for Game 7 to get here. I mean, they have all the momentum, and there's no home court advantage either. So I don't know. This is just a bad look for Houston.
Looks like there's no love lost between these two. And it shapes up just like Denver and Utah.